I learned exactly where I ranked in my family. The night my dad raised his glass at dinner and said, "Congrats, here's your car, son." Everyone clapped. Then he turned to me, lowered his voice, and handed me a bill instead of a smile. Rent, 900, due by Sunday. I smiled. I swallowed it, but something inside me packed its bags. Pause. What happened next didn't explode at the table. It unfolded later, and quietly unraveled my entire family. Before I get into it, tap like, tell me where you're listening from, and share your advice because it matters. Set up who I am 2140. My name is Sarah. On paper, I'm the kid parents are supposed to brag about. I work in social services, the kind of job where people show up on their worst days, and you learn how to stay calm while everything around you is falling apart. Funny thing is, I learned most of those skills at home. From the outside, my family looked solid. Neat lawn, matching photo frames, Sunday dinners that started on time. My dad built his life with hard work and pride. My mom believed peace was something you protected by not poking at cracks. And then there was my brother. Younger, charming, the kind of person people forgive before he even asks. We lived under the same roof, but we played by different rules. Favoritism without words, 143:10. When my brother struggled, the house leaned toward him. When I succeeded, it was treated like background noise. Expected, already accounted for. No one ever said, "We expect more from you." They didn't have to. It was in the silences, in the way my report cards were skimmed, while his were discussed. I became the reliable one, the helper, the fixer. After college, I moved back home with a plan. Save money, get experience, apply to grad school. I paid for groceries sometimes, covered bills when things broke, filled gaps without keeping score. My mom liked to say, "Your dad just trusts you more," as if trust explained why responsibility only flowed one direction. I told myself it didn't bother me. I believed if I stayed steady long enough, things would even out. I carried that belief right into my brother's graduation dinner. The dinner 3:10:5:30. The house buzzed with celebration. But somehow, I wasn't part of it. The garage stayed closed all day. Every time I walked by, voices dropped. I told myself I was imagining things. At the ceremony, my dad stood up clapping, beaming, like my brother's success was his own. I clapped too, proud, with that familiar ache in my chest. Back home, the house filled fast. Laughter, music, plates clinking. Then my dad stood at the head of the table, glass raised. He talked about hard work, perseverance, recognition. His hand rested on my brother's shoulder. Then he pulled out the keys. They caught the light. A brand new car. The room exploded. I clapped. I smiled. My hands did exactly what they were trained to do. The rent bill, $536.40. After people moved to the garage, my dad nodded toward the hallway. In the quiet kitchen, his tone changed. Practical. Measured. "You've been here a while," he said. "It's time you start paying rent. 900 by Sunday." For a second, I thought it was a joke. Then I looked past him, at my brother laughing in the driver's seat. Something clicked. This wasn't confusion. It was a line being drawn. And I had been standing on the wrong side of it. My entire life. The decision, 6:48:30. That night, I sat on my bed staring at the wall. $900 wasn't the problem. The meaning was. It was a verdict. I opened my bank account. Years of savings. Enough to move. Enough to breathe. In the morning, no one mentioned the rent. That silence told me everything. I waited until the house was empty. I packed calmly. I left a note on the fridge. I'm moving out. I'm taking responsibility for my life fully. Please don't look for me until I reach out. Then I left. I didn't look back. Fallout BGNS, 8:30-10:30. The calls came fast. My brother, is this a joke? My mom, crying. My dad, you're overreacting. I didn't answer. Not out of anger, but because I was done explaining my worth to people who had already decided it. That night, I sat in a grocery store parking lot, hands on the steering wheel, trying to understand how one sentence could empty a lifetime. Confrontation with Dad 10/30/13/00. Weeks later, my dad showed up unannounced. You embarrassed us, he said. I left quietly, I replied. You blindsided us. You handed me a rent bill at my brother's celebration. He waved it off. That's business. Adults pay their way. And yet, I said, you bought him a car. Silence. Finally, he said it. He needed encouragement. You've always been fine on your own. There it was. I stood up. I'm not here to argue, I said. I just needed to hear that. Walk away over money, he asked. I shook my head. I walked away over clarity. Resolution 13/00/15/00. Without me, the system cracked. My brother struggled. For the first time, carrying his own weight. My mom grew quieter, more honest. My dad lost control and didn't know who he was without it. Meanwhile, my life got lighter. I found my own place. I thrived at work. One night my dad texted. I didn't mean it that way. I replied. Impact matters more than intent. He never responded. And that's when I knew it was over. Closing message, 15:00 end. That dinner wasn't the moment my family broke. It was the moment the illusion did. Sometimes walking away isn't punishment. It's refusing to keep shrinking, so others can stay comfortable. If this story hit close to home, you're not weak for wanting fairness, and you're not selfish for choosing yourself. If you've ever had to step back from family to protect who you are, share your story in the comments. And if you want more real stories like this, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.